Hey guys, it's your girl Marielle. Welcome back to my channel, Friday Night Light Reviews, where we do reactions and reviews to TV shows, other digital content, and movies. So, won't you go ahead and hit that like, comment, and subscribe button? Because I know you keep coming back, so you might as well just become a part of the family. Feel me? And don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. Let's get this channel to 400 subscribers. That is the new goal. We are more than halfway there. Please hit me up on my other digital platforms, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Tell me what you guys are watching for the Halloween season, or just give me, hit me up with your watch list so we can watch together. So with that being said, today is day 2 of doing a review and reaction to horror movies, new and old. We're going to be doing a new one for 2021 and another Amazon original movie. It is called Black is Night. So the movie was directed, and I really hope I'm saying her name correctly, Mariette Ligo. If I'm not, please charge it to my head and not my mind. And if you guys can, spell it phonetically in the comments so I don't make the same mistake again. And so let's just jump right into this plot. It's a resourceful teenager driven by revenge alongside her trusted friends, spending the summer fighting vampires terrorizing her city of New Orleans. It is starring Aja Cooper, who plays Shauna, Fabrizio Guido, who plays Pedro, Keith David, my dude, playing Babino, and Mason Beecham, who plays Chris. So, and you guys need to put in the comments, what other words can I use other than so and with that being said, because it's in the rotation too much. But be nice. Anyway, the movie, as far as a horror movie, you know how I feel about that staple of genre. To some it may be scary, to some it's not. It is a horror movie. Basically, the plot, the base of the movie. Is it scary? I can't say yes to that because it wasn't, but it still does fall in the horror genre. That's all that matters, technically. The movie was very interesting, and what I mean by that, this movie touched on the history of New Orleans, which was great, and African American horrors and traumas, but they didn't fetishize it. And with our last review on certain movies, I don't like that people fetishize black trauma and the black experience. And the way this was done, it did not fetishize it. It didn't even glorify the black trauma. It just drew us in a different way to accept it, which is through horror with vampires, trying to fight them, making sure that the demons, the vampires is gone. I really like that about this movie. That's what was so interesting to me. In the midst of the culture of New Orleans, it kind of involved the vampires killing people with stakes and silver and throwing garlic on them. I do like the throwback of how to kill vampires, because we all know in the movies of today, garlic, silver, all that don't mean nothing. Like, these new vampires is hybrids. But I really do like how she took it old school with all of those things that we know can kill vampires. Also, I really loved how, like I said in the beginning, how they touch on African American horrors and different things that we deal with as a people. So it was very heavily explained and touched on with colorism within the black community. There is a scene, I'm not going to give it all away because you know how I feel. You don't want to ruin the experience when you're watching a thriller or a horror movie, so that I will not be talking about the end. I'll only slip up with little things about the movie to, bring context to what I'm saying. So let's go back. They touch heavy on colorism within the black community. There's a scene with Shauna and her brother and her father where she has this crush on a character named Chris that comes in kind of the middle of this movie, and he's like, he only likes the fair-skinned girls, the Creole girls with the good hair, and you're none of that. You look like Wesley Snipes in braids, which was so disrespectful because she's beautiful. This beautiful chocolate young woman. She was just beautiful. The son, the husband, touching on what it means and what that colorism puts that wedge in between the black community, where we can be unified on certain things, but then we are pulled apart on others. And I really like that they touched on that and the history and the culture of New Orleans. They also talked about slavery, and that is how it is explained why the area is overtaken by vampires. So the vampires come in by way of someone trying to create an army of the unwanted to kill everything that made us hurt, that brought us pain. The guy Babineau, Keith David, who's my dude, he's like, the players are always the same. We are always the same, but it's just different players. And that was a huge explanation of what happens through the course of this movie. Shauna gets bit by a vampire in the street because, one, she was minding her business. I don't even understand. This kind of played on the reverse on how we always say if black people was in horror movies, we not chasing nobody, we not saying hey yo whatever. She totally flipped the script on that. Shauna's like, hey, leave that girl alone. And what happens? She gets attacked because you minding somebody else's business, bro. What's happening? You supposed to know better. But she didn't. And what happened? She got bit. So when I tell you, this definitely gives me the old school Tales from the Hood, Buffy the Vampire Slayer vibes, because they talk about garlic and crosses and silver and driving stakes through the heart to kill the vampires. I really like that. She did the old school stuff and not like these new hybrid vampire movies that we love. She took it old school, and I really like that. Also, there's a whole group in the French Quarter where they talk about vampires. This is where they meet another character. I also like there was the token, how there's always a token black person. She was the token white person in this movie. I thought that was funny how all the roles were reversed, because Shorty was like, I'm not about this life, so y'all can go ahead and continue on with y'all mission. I'm out. So that was funny to see. Also, they talks about when we feel guilty, when we get given these opportunities to make something better of ourselves, we think if we go, we're turning our back on our past, we're turning our back on our culture and our future. Some of us do feel like that. And that's how Fabrizio Guido's character is introduced as Shauna's best friend, Pedro, who got scholarship to go to this very prestigious school in Texas. So with all those different things happening with each character, she pulls it in together, and they talk about all the things I just mentioned and come out in this movie basically full of horror. And I thought it was so dope. I love New Orleans. I've been there. It's beautiful. It's the most cultured state I've ever been to, without leaving the country. And I will say my favorite part of this movie is where we get introduced to a character named Tunde, who gives the explanation on what's going on in New Orleans with these vampires, basically teaching her brother a life lesson about owning and seeing that your dark skin is beautiful, because black people are magic, because we come in different shapes and sizes and different shades. And kind of gut checks him with him being disrespectful to his sister. So at the end of the day, where I can, and overall rating this where it falls in our pumpkins, I'm giving it a 3.5. I kind of want to give it a 4, but yeah, it's still gonna be a 3.5 for me, because there was some scenes that were just okay, this is not scary, we're just basically watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer with black people, and that's okay. That is okay. It more than made up for it with the history lesson, with the old school way to kill vampires, by bringing the culture of New Orleans with this kind of scary horror feel with the vampires. So I'm giving Black as Night 3.5 pumpkins. Do I think it's a worthy watch? I definitely do. I definitely think you will enjoy this, just on how the director put their spin on these different social injustices, these social things as Black people that we have to face every day. So definitely give it a watch. So we are at the end of this video, so you know what that means. Please don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. Hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And as always, stay safe, stay courageous, and I'll see you in the next one.